Power. Everyone talks about it. Everyone thinks they want it. But here's the truth most people will never face. Power isn't what you think it is. It isn't just money. It isn't just status. And it sure as hell isn't just confidence. Real power, the kind Machiavelli wrote about, the kind kings and warlords bled for, operates on levels. 5 levels, each darker, each deeper, each one demanding that you leave behind who you were before. And the brutal truth, with intensity, most people never escape level 1. They stay trapped, powerless, predictable, easy to control, slaves in a game they don't even realize they're playing. Tonight, I'm going to walk you through those 5 levels of power, not like some dusty lecture from a professor, but as someone who's spent over 20 years seeing these levels in real life, in boardrooms, backrooms, battlefields of business, and in the shadows of human nature. If you're ready, lean in, because once you see these levels, you can't unsee them. Level 1, the illusion of power. This is where almost everyone lives. Level 1 is the illusion. It's surface power, the mask. It's the guy flexing his car keys at the bar, the influencer posing with rented jets, the middle manager barking orders at people who secretly laugh behind his back. Here's the hard truth. At level 1, you don't have power. You just perform power. Machiavelli warned about this centuries ago. He said a ruler must learn to appear strong, even if he's weak. But he didn't mean fake it till you make it. He meant appearances are tools if you control them. Most people at level 1 aren't controlling the mask. The mask is controlling them. They're addicted to approval. Addicted to looking powerful instead of being powerful. This is why most men never leave this level, because it feels good. Validation, likes, compliments. They think they've arrived. But here's the catch. The moment someone stronger walks into the room, the illusion shatters. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I sat in a meeting with a CEO who loved to puff himself up. Gold watch, loud voice, dominating the conversation. Everyone nodded along, pretending to respect him. But when the real decision maker walked in, the quiet investor behind the company, the CEO shut up instantly. You could see it in his eyes. He wasn't the lion. He was the house cat. That's level 1. Loud, flashy, hollow. If you're here, recognize it. Because until you strip away the mask, you'll never rise higher. Level 2. The power of control. Once you see through the illusion, you step into level 2. Control. Control over what? Yourself. Your emotions. Your impulses. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must be both lion and fox. Strong enough to fight, clever enough to see the traps. But here's the secret. You can't be either if you can't control yourself. Self-control is the foundation of power. At this level, you stop reacting. You stop chasing validation. You stop letting other people push your buttons. Think about it. The easiest way to control someone is to trigger them emotionally. Insult them, tempt them, make them crave attention, status, or revenge. Most people fall for it instantly. But the one who has mastered himself, he becomes untouchable. That's level 2 power. Let me give you a real example. I once knew a man who worked in high-stakes negotiations, the kind where millions were on the line. His secret? He never raised his voice, never showed anger, never revealed fear. People tried to provoke him. They failed. And because they couldn't shake him, he always held the upper hand. At level 2, you realize the battlefield isn't out there. It's in here. And when you conquer yourself, you're ready for the next level. Level 3, the power of influence. Level 3 is where power stops being about you and starts being about others. Influence, the ability to shape minds, bend emotions, guide behavior without force. Machiavelli knew this well. He said it's safer to be feared than loved. But the master of power knows how to use both. This is the level of persuasion, of psychology, of subtle manipulation. At this stage, you don't need to shout. You don't need to demand. People want to follow you. They feel like it was their idea all along. That's the trick. Influence works in whispers, not screams. Now, here's the dangerous part. Most people who reach level 3 get addicted because influence feels intoxicating. It's power without resistance. You can get people to give, follow, obey, and they'll thank you for it. But if you stop here, you'll never reach the darker levels, because influence without strategy is still fragile. It can be undone. It can backfire. It can slip away the moment the crowd changes their mind. So you need to go deeper. Level 4, the power of strategy. Now we enter the shadows. Level 4 is strategy. The long game. Machiavelli taught that fortune favors the prepared, that the prince must see beyond today, beyond tomorrow, into years ahead. At this level, you're no longer reacting. You're no longer just influencing. You're orchestrating. Every move you make serves a greater plan. Every alliance, every silence, every sacrifice, all pieces on your board. This is where most powerful figures in history lived. Caesar, Napoleon, modern CEOs, politicians, power brokers. They didn't just act. They played chess while everyone else played checkers. But here's what most people don't understand. Strategy requires sacrifice. You have to let go of comfort. You have to lose battles to win wars. You have to keep secrets. Sometimes you even have to betray. That's why so few rise to level 4. It's not about intelligence. It's about stomach, the guts to pay the price. I'll tell you something from experience. I once gave up a lucrative partnership. Everyone thought I was insane, but I saw the long game. I knew that staying tied to that person would poison my reputation years later. Walking away cost me money in the short term, but it saved me everything in the long term. That's level 4 power, the willingness to think and act beyond the horizon. Level 5, the power of legacy. And now we arrive at the final level. Level 5 is legacy, the rarest, darkest, and most enduring form of power. This is power that outlives you, power that becomes myth, power that echoes long after your body turns to dust. Machiavelli himself achieved this. He wasn't a king, he wasn't an emperor, but 5 centuries later, his name is still spoken with awe and fear. That's legacy. At this level, you're no longer playing for wealth or applause. You're carving your philosophy into the bones of history. And here's the truth. To reach this level, you must be willing to disappear, to become the architect instead of the actor, to let others take the spotlight while you shape the story from the shadows. Legacy power isn't just about control, influence, or strategy. It's about creating something bigger than yourself, something that keeps moving even when you're gone. It might be an empire. It might be an idea. It might be a reputation so unshakable that people fear to cross your name, even centuries later. But legacy requires the ultimate sacrifice, ego. Because at this level, you're not chasing recognition. You're building permanence. That's the final level. Few will ever touch it, but those who do become immortal. So those are the 5 dark levels of power. Level 1, illusion. Level 2, control. Level 3, influence. Level 4, strategy. Level 5, legacy. Most people never leave level 1. Some rise to level 2, mastering themselves. Fewer reach influence. A rare handful play the long game of strategy, and almost no one achieves legacy. Where are you? Be honest with yourself. Are you still trapped in the illusion, chasing validation, wearing the mask? Or are you ready to walk into the darker, lonelier levels? The levels where true power lives. Because here's the final truth. Power isn't given, it's taken, and every level demands that you kill off the weaker version of yourself. The question is, how far are you willing to go?